checking the forecast, things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities, we're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. What do you think? Let's do it to it, guys. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our program, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Now, guys, right off the bat, I want to urge everybody that has not been here to please subscribe to our channel. For those of you that have been here for a while, make sure you're still subscribed to Emergency Management Associates. Why? The answer is simple. Answer is very simple. USBS is doing its number, and YouTube is also doing it. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people. Okay? They keep unsubscribing people. That's why it's so important to make sure you're still subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're also notified when we come on the air. Right next to the subscription button, there's a little bell icon. The little bell icon. When you click on that, you'll see a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the first ALL, the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. We usually come on the air between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time today. Now it's almost 6 p.m. That's because we have an update to talk to you about when it comes to the New Madrid fault. New information. New information. We're going to go through it in detail in just a few minutes. The first thing we want to do right now is tell you about what's going on around the world. For that, we're going to go over to the USGS map here. Okay? We're going to use the USGS map here. One, it's probably one of the only maps we can use. Number two, we're going to be taking a few minutes this weekend and download Earthquake 3D so we can truly see what's going on around the world. We're going to do that for you. We want everybody to understand what's happening. I want you to see it real time. Okay? First off, over here in Japan today, we keep having earthquakes in this area here, northeast of Honshu, Japan, right between Honshu and Hokkaido Island in Japan. We had this earlier today. This is a 5.3 large earthquake. A 5.3 large earthquake in the water here along the Japanese fault zone here. A 5.3 large earthquake. This is also 24 miles deep. Very shallow earthquake. Further south, southeast of Hokkaido or southeast of Tokyo, Japan here. Okay, we have a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. 4.2 moderate earthquake. This is 63 miles southeast of Onagawa, Japan. Okay, further to the southeast, also on the east side of the Japanese fault here. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. 132 miles southeast of Osaka, Japan. USGS says this is east-northeast. This is southeast of Osaka, Japan. 4.7 earthquake here. Let's go further south here. Okay, let's go over here to Taiwan and Hong Kong area here. Off the northeast coast of Taiwan. Here we have a 4.3 moderate earthquake. 44 miles southwest. They say it's southwest. It's actually not that. This is east. This is east of Taiwan here. East of Taiwan. Okay? Just barely to the north. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 earthquake here, guys. That's important. These are just moderate earthquakes today. Nobody felt these. Nobody felt them at all. These are off in the ocean waters here in the East Chinese Sea. Okay? Now, let's go over here to the Philippines. Again, the USBS is not showing us any earthquakes here in the Philippines at all. That's a fallacy. There are earthquakes here in the Philippines. They continue not to show them. That's what they do here. Again, over here in Indonesia, there are 49 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. USGS shows us 3. They show us 3 earthquakes here. This earthquake here is near Tobelo, Indonesia. 15 miles east-southeast of Tobelo, Indonesia. North-central Indonesia. 4.6 earthquake here. Now, right here to the southeast, okay? This is a 4.6 earthquake near Fakfak, FAK, Indonesia. 84 miles south of Fakfak, Indonesia. 4.6 moderate earthquake, 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Further to the southwest, 4.1 earthquake here. This is a very common area for earthquakes. Very common area for earthquakes. 83 miles east-northeast of Los Palos, Timor, Indonesia. Timor, Indonesia here. 4.1 earthquake here. Okay? They're not showing all the earthquakes here in Indonesia. They never do. Never do. They're not showing anything here in Papua, Indonesia or Papua New Guinea. There are earthquakes here as well. Over here to the east here, okay? Over here near the Solomon Islands and also Vanuatu. USBS has this as a 4.7 over in Vanuatu. Northwest of Vanuatu here. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. Further to the west. This is also in the Vanuatu region, the northern Vanuatu region. 5.4 large earthquake. A large 5.4 earthquake right here. Let's go down to the southeast here. Okay, down here in Fiji region. This is a 4.5 earthquake here, south of Fiji Islands. 4.5 earthquake. This is 54 miles deep. Still a very shallow earthquake. Shallow earthquake. Again, they're not showing anything here in Tonga or even Samoa. They're not showing anything down here in New Zealand. There are 29 earthquakes here in New Zealand today. They're not showing any. They never do. Now, I want to show you something else, okay? Literally all day long, we've been having earthquakes here in Afghanistan. They're showing us one earthquake here. This is a very large 5.8 earthquake. Very large earthquakes range in size from 5.6 to 5.9. Those are considered to be very large earthquakes. Large earthquakes are 5.0 to 5.5. This is a very large 5.8 earthquake. Those near Bazarak, Afghanistan, 24 miles northeast of Bazarak, Afghanistan. Now, why am I talking about this? Number one, it's on the earthquake map. Number two, people here have been in danger since this earthquake hit. I've talked about this before, I'm talking about it again. People that live in this region, they are nomadic. Some of them live in caves. Other of the Afghanis or even Pakistanis also live in mud huts or mud buildings. Okay, mud buildings. These are unreinforced masonry. What happens when we get an earthquake of this magnitude or even a 4.0, 4.9, which are moderate earthquakes? Guess what happens? Those mud bricks become very brittle and they break. That mud falls on top of those people. Anything that's above them in the ceiling areas falls down on them as well. They're not very well made. This area is very permeable when it comes to earthquakes. Earthquakes destroy everything in this region. A while back, we had a 6.1 earthquake here in Afghanistan. What did that cause? That caused those people to almost lose everything. Literally, hundreds of people were killed, unalived. Hundreds more were very badly injured. Some of these people lived in villages in the mountain areas here in Afghanistan. It was very hard to get in there in the mountain areas. Literally one way in and one way out. The roadways to the mountains are just one lane. They had a lot of trouble getting supplies and even first aid supplies and people in here to help people here in Afghanistan and Pakistan after that last earthquake. This earthquake is almost as devastating. It's a 5.8. The other one was a 6.1 last September. Very bad earthquake. This is another bad earthquake here. These people faced a lot of tragedy here. They're facing more tragedy today. 5.8 earthquake here in Afghanistan today. Okay, where does this seismic injury come from? Let's back you out here on the map and show you. Okay, down here in Indonesia, remember, we keep talking about this. This is the largest subduction area in the world, encompassing all of the Pacific islands, including New Zealand, Tonga and Fiji, New Caledonia, Legacy Islands here, going up here in the Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, Papua Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, all of Australia, all of Indonesia. 7 different tectonic plates make up this region. One tectonic plate is subducting under the other. Major subduction happening. Major subduction happening. That means one tectonic plate subducting under the other just like this. One tectonic plate subducting under the other just like this. Okay, what happens? That energy migrates. That energy migrates. How? Look here. Down here in the southern part of Indonesia, major tectonic plate here. The edge of the tectonic plate, okay, runs all the way over here from Papua, Indonesia, all the way over here through the southern part of Indonesia, both Java and Sumatra, Indonesia. Then it goes up here into Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, Burma here. Myanmar, Burma. From there, runs up the east side of India, goes up here into the Himalaya Mountains, goes through the Himalaya Mountains. Yes, this is the edge of the plate here, the Himalaya Mountains. Seismic energy follows the edge of the plate here. Here it comes over to Pakistan and Afghanistan and Tajikistan. That's why this area is very dangerous. All this energy from over in Indonesia, which we've had, we always have anywhere from 38 to 50 earthquakes, sometimes more in Indonesia. All that seismic energy rolls up through here, and it comes out over here. Then it either rolls through the northern part of Iran or the southern part of Iran down here, two different edges of the plate. The southern edge and the northern edge of the plate here in Iran. It continues north and west, okay, through the Caspian Sea here. And south of the Caspian Sea, you see the fault line going here, further over here through Syria and into Turkey. Syria and into Turkey. Right here we have another interesting plate feature going on here. That energy comes over here to the Anatolian plate. The Anatolian plate, dividing literally Syria from Turkey. Here, the energy comes here. 3 years ago, we had a major earthquake here in the Turkey-Syria border region. A 9.0, 10.0 struck this area here. Major earthquake. Over 5,000 people unalived and over 5,000 others injured. A huge fissure opened up in Turkey. Huge fissure in the earth opened up in Turkey. A fissure that would also encompass an 8-story building. 14 miles long and an 8-story building high. That's a deep fissure. This was a major earthquake causing that deep fissure. That's why we have these fault zones. Okay? Yes, they carry seismic energy all the way to different parts of the world. That's what happened here in the Turkey-Syria border region. Now again, they do not show any earthquakes here in Turkey-Syria area here, or even over west or north. Over here in northern Turkey, the fault comes over here south of the Black Sea here. We have earthquakes over here in northwestern Turkey. 100 earthquakes here in northwestern Turkey. Of course, they're not going to show it. Heaven forbid they tell us exactly what's going on or even be honest with us. USGS is claiming 198 earthquakes worldwide. I'm going to tell you this. There are 10 times that many earthquakes around the world, at least 12 to 1,400 earthquakes around the world. They're only showing 198 on the map. I don't even think they're showing those. Very sad state of affairs. Very sad state of affairs. They're not showing anything in Scandinavia or Europe. Nothing. They're not showing anything in Africa. They're not showing anything over here in Iceland. Nothing over here in northern Canada. Nothing in Africa at all. They're showing one lousy earthquake in South America. One lousy earthquake here in South America. There are 46 earthquakes here in South America. They're showing us one earthquake here in southern Peru. 4.2 moderate earthquake here, 12 miles east-northeast of Pedregal, Puerto Rico. Okay? There are at least 17 earthquakes here in northern Chile, Antofagasta, and also Atacama, Chile. Those are provinces here in northern Chile. Not showing any earthquakes here. That's a joke. That's a horrible joke. Down here in central Chile, 14 earthquakes here in central Chile as well. There are minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. There are small 3.2 to 3.9 here. There are 4.2 to 4.9 earthquakes here in Chile. They're not showing any at all. That's a sad state of affairs. They're showing one earthquake off the coast of central Chile here. This is on the West Chile Rise here in the Pacific Ocean. This is also a large 5.0 earthquake here. 5.0 earthquake here in the ocean, nobody felt it. No islands around here with people on them. Nobody felt this earthquake, and the ocean waters here absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Further to the north here, this is another 5.0 earthquake. USGS is showing this is a 4.9, came out as a 5.2. They downgraded this cotton picker to a 4.9 earthquake. 6.2 miles deep out here in the East Central Pacific Ocean. This is a large earthquake, and the ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of this quake. 14 earthquakes here in Central America. They don't show any at all. 46 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. From Puerto Vallarta here to the north, all the way down here to the south of Oaxaca, Mexico. Not showing us one earthquake at all. That's pretty sad. That's very sad. Okay? Not showing us squat. Not squat. This week we've talked about earthquakes in California. Earthquakes in California. I'm going over here to Northern California here, and I want to show you what's going on here. I think it's very important we talk about this. Right here in the Bay Area. Just northeast of Monterey Bay here. We have a 0.9, 1.0 tremor here near Corralitos, California. 4 miles northeast of Corralitos, California. 1.0 tremor here. Southeast from there on the San Andres Fault. Just like that earthquake near Corralitos, that was on the San Andres. This is also here on the San Andres. Tres Pinos. 1.6 tremor here in Tres Pinos, California, southeast of Monterey Bay. South of there, also on the San Andres Fault. 2.0 earthquake here in the Pinnacles. An oil and gas pumping region here in the Pinnacles on the San Andres Fault, a 2.0 minor earthquake. South of there, also on the San Andres Fault. San Ardo, California. Another 2.0 earthquake on the San Andres. Over here to the southwest, on the Oceana Fault, San Simeon, California. 7 miles northeast of San Simeon, we have a 1.6 tremor here. Right here on the coast. Cayocos, California. 1.5 tremor here. This earthquake just happened. This earthquake near Cayocos, California just happened. 1.5 tremor here. Let's go over here to San Francisco Bay. This is also very important. Right here. Walnut Creek, California. I have family here in Walnut Creek, my cousins. A 2.4 minor earthquake hit here, 2 miles south of Walnut Creek, California, right between the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault. South of there, San Ramon again. San Ramon is still moving here. This is the 1.7 tremor here in San Ramon, California. Over here on the central part of the Bay Area, on the Hayward Fault. This is a 1.2 tremor here. 1.2 tremor here. But it's not the only thing here. This is 1.2 near Berkeley, California, on the southeastern edge of Berkeley, California. 1.2 tremor. This is a 1.7 tremor here. 2 tremors here in Berkeley, California, on the Hayward Fault. You can see the Hayward Fault right here. Now, guys, we've had multiple earthquakes here in Berkeley, California before. Berkeley, California is very susceptible to earthquakes because the Hayward runs right through it. The Hayward Fault runs right through Berkeley. About a year ago, we had a 3.2 underneath the University of Berkeley's football field. Underneath the football field at UC Berkeley. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Looks like a football stadium here. Let's see if we can find it. Right there. That's where that earthquake hit, right center in the middle of the football field. UC Berkeley. Okay? Earthquakes have been there. These 2 tremors here are pretty close to there. They're pretty close to that fault. On the fault near the UC Berkeley campus. Okay? It's happening. Earthquakes here in San Francisco. Over here to the south, Pacific and California again on the San Andreas. This is a 1.3 earthquake here just off the coast of Daly, California. Off the coast of Daly, California, just south of Pacifica. On the San Andreas Fault. 1.3 tremor here on the San Andreas Fault right here. Okay, let's go north. I'm not going to go over in here to the geysers geothermal facility. This always has earthquakes. This area always has earthquakes because it's related to that volcano just to the north, the Clear Lake volcano. So we go, except for this brand new earthquake here, this is 1.1 tremor here in the geysers facility, geothermal facility here. Okay, let's go north here. Over here, the southern Cascadia subduction zone region. Earthquake here. This is 3 miles south of Petrolia, California, on the San Andreas Fault. On the San Andreas Fault. You notice where this is? Just north of the King Range National Conservation Area. Right near the San Andreas Fault. 1.6 tremor here. Now, guys, I'm telling you this. There are more earthquakes than they're showing here. They're just not wanting to make sure we see it. To the north, on the Cascadia subduction zone. On the Cascadia subduction zone. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. West-southwest of Pistol River, Oregon. South-southwest of Pistol River, Oregon. 2.6 earthquake here on the Cascadia subduction zone. We talked about the Cascadia yesterday. I think we did a thorough description of what's happening here in the Cascadia region. Notice something else here. The USGS is saying we have some earthquakes here, but they're still failing to show what's going on at Mount Rainier or Mount St. Helens. Not showing anything here. But they're trying to tell us that there is activity just east of Seattle, Washington. This is a 1.6 tremor here, 2 miles east of Carnation, Washington, 2 miles east of the Puget Sound region. Further east here, this is Antioch, Washington, a 0.6 microquake here. Okay, let's go north. Okay, 1.0 tremor here near Concrete, Washington. Near Concrete, Washington. 1.0 tremor here. Let's go further here to the west. Mount Vernon, Washington. This is a 1.5 tremor here near Mount Vernon, Washington. Just barely south there. This is a 0.9 microquake, 1.0 tremor here. Why did I say 1.0 or 0.9 microquake? Because, folks, they have it labeled as a 0.9 microquake, but we all know what the USGS does. They downgrade any earthquake to the nearest 0.9. The 0.9 society is alive and well here. This is a 1.0 tremor here, east-northeast of Conway, Washington. East-northeast of Conway, Washington here, just east of the Puget Sound. Okay? These are not the only earthquakes here. There are dozens more, hundreds more that they're not showing us here. Hundreds more. Tons of activities happening here. Going over here to southwestern Alaska, right here. We've been having dozens of earthquakes here this past week. This is also a region that we've had a major earthquake here just a couple months ago. As a result, we are still seeing aftershocks. We're going to be talking about aftershocks today. Lots and lots of aftershocks. Down here, this is 65 miles north of Yakutak, Alaska. 2.6 earthquake here. North of there, this is the 3.4 earthquake here. Literally right next to it, this is a 1.9, 2.0 tremor here. Just to the northeast, this is a 2.0 earthquake. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. Further to the southeast, another 2.0 earthquake here. Like I said, they keep happening here. Way down here to the south, we can't forget this either. This is very important. Okay, look where it's at. Right here near the harbor. This is iced over right now. This is the 2.0 minor earthquake here. 29 miles north or southeast of Yakutak, Alaska. USGS has mislabeled where this earthquake is. Okay? That's normal. That's pretty much normal. They mislabel almost everything. Going over here into southern Alaska here, this is mostly normal as well. Over here, this is earthquake 3.0 near Fox River, Alaska. 16 miles southeast of Fox River, Alaska. Over here to the west, this is a 2.6 earthquake near Anchor Bay, Anchor Point, Alaska. 2.6 earthquake here. Up here to the north, near Cooper Landing. 14 miles west-northwest of Cooper Landing. 2.2 minor earthquake. To the northwest, 3.6 earthquake here. Southeast of Point Conception, or Point Possession, Alaska. Point Possession, Alaska. Now, I want to go over here. Look at this. Look where this earthquake is. Okay? This is north of Mount Redoubt. North of Mount Redoubt. 3.0 earthquake. This is a 1.7. 40 miles west-northwest of Beluga, Alaska. But further south right here. Okay? Why do I want to talk about this? Because this is west of Mount Redoubt volcano. Mount Redoubt volcano is right here. This is west of Mount Redoubt volcano. Okay? Let's go further north here. Northwest of Anchorage. See where this earthquake is here? Northwest of Anchorage here. Across the Cook Inlet here. This is a 2.3 near Mackenzie Point, or Point Mackenzie. 2.3 earthquake here. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. Southeast of Big Lake, Alaska. Up here to the north. 1.8 tremor here. 8 miles north of Meadow Lakes, Alaska. Yes, we have earthquakes here. 2.3 earthquake near Seton, Alaska here. We go out here to the west. 2.0 earthquake here near Trapper Creek, Alaska. Further to the southwest, another 2.0 earthquake here, 12 miles west-southwest of Trapper Creek. Just southeast of where? Southeast of Denali National Park. 2.2 earthquake here. This is another 2.2 earthquake here. Just north of Mount McKinley. Just north of Mount McKinley here. 1.2 tremor. Another 1.8. To the northwest or southwest of there. Just to the west of Denali. This is another 2.0 earthquake here. On the northeast side of Denali National Park, we have a 2.5 minor earthquake. And just south of there, 1.6 tremor. Going north, 1.8 tremor here. Fascinating, but no cigar, huh? Southwest of Fairbanks, 2.0 earthquake here, near 4 Mile Road, Alaska. North of there, this is a 1.4 tremor, 21 miles northeast of 4 Mile Road, Alaska. Now, guys, we have no more earthquakes here in Alaska to the north. There's nothing above the at or above the Arctic Circle here. Nothing over here on the northern shore of Alaska where the oil and gas pumping operation is at. Nothing here. That might be a good thing. That might be a very good thing. Another earthquake just hit here. Just turned red here. Let's go over here, take a look at it. This is a 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor just happened near Denali, east-southeast. Actually, this is not east-southeast. This is east-northeast of Denali National Park. They have it east-southeast, it's east-northeast. Denali National Park, a 1.8 tremor here. We've kind of taken you around the world now. No, we have not taken a lot of time over here in the Aleutian Islands. There's nothing really to show you here in the Aleutian Islands. I want to go over here to Hawaii next. Let's go over here to Hawaii real quickly here. Okay? There's a bunch of earthquakes here that I think we need to talk about. Okay? Offshore. Now, this is the furthest offshore from the big island of Hawaii that I've seen. This is a 2.7 earthquake here. This is 35 miles east-southeast of Nalahue, Alaska, which is an underwater volcano, undersea volcano here. Let's go over here to the big island now. On the coastline near Pahala, offshore of Pahala, Alaska here, Pahala, Hawaii. Sorry, Laura. Laura has family over here in Pahala, Hawaii. This is off the coast of Pahala. 1.7 tremor here. On land, just southeast of Pahala. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Almost directly south of Pahala, the city of Pahala, Hawaii. This is a 1.5 tremor here. My friends, John and Laura have a grandson that graduated from Pahala High School this past year. That's why I want to mention this. Okay? Not just that. Not just that. This area north of Pahala here, I often refer to it as a magma gas station for the Big Island. Why? Why? Because way down in the Southern Pacific, way down south here in the Southern Pacific, way down here, there is a very deep magma plume that goes down to the mantle of the earth. A very deep magma plume. The magma from this plume supplies magma to all the volcanoes around the world. The magma supplies all the volcanoes around the world. Let's go back up here to Hawaii. Okay? The magma comes up here to Pahala, this area right here. When the magma comes up here to Pahala, to the Big Island, there are magma channels from Pahala to all the volcanoes around Hawaii. All the volcanoes on the Big Island. Okay? There is a magma plume reaching over here to Mauna Loa volcano. Southeast of Mauna Loa here, on the eastern flank of Mauna Loa. This is a 1.5 tremor here, 4.5 miles deep. Just north here, also on the eastern flank of Mauna Loa volcano. This is also a 2.0 earthquake that just happened. 2.0 minor earthquake that just happened. Over here near the summit of Mauna Loa here. Look at all these earthquakes here. Look at all these earthquakes. Guys, over about a year and a half ago, Mauna Loa actually erupted for 2 or 3 days. Look at the earthquakes here. This might be a signal here, guys. This might just be a signal USGS never shows all the earthquakes here at Mauna Loa. Never do. This is only a sampling of earthquakes here at Mauna Loa. This is a 3.1 small earthquake here. Right next to it to the west is a 2.8 earthquake here. They have this earthquake as east-northeast of Honolulu, Napupu, Hawaii. Honolulu, Napupu, Hawaii. Again, they do not show where these earthquakes actually occur. This is on the western flank of Mauna Loa volcano. This is a 2.8, and this is a 3.1 small quake. To the north, again, they are not showing these quakes here where they actually are. This is further to the northwest, on the northwest flank of Mauna Loa. 0.8 microquake here. This is another 0.8 microquake. This is a 1.6 tremor here. This is a 0.9 microquake here. On the northwest side of Mauna Loa. Further out here to the west and north. This is a 1.1 tremor here. Again, they have this same earthquake labeled as the other earthquakes are. But this is on the south or northwest side of Mauna Loa. Further to the north, this is a 1.2 tremor here, northwest of Mauna Loa volcano, on the flank of the volcano. Let's back out here. Up here to the north, we have Mauna Kea volcano. Usually if you check the seismograms here at Mauna Kea, you're going to actually see more earthquakes here at Mauna Kea than are at Mauna Loa. That's a fact. It's always the case. Yet USGS is still not showing all the earthquakes here. They're not showing one at Mauna Kea at all. That's pretty sad. Out here to the northwest, they showed this as a 1.8 tremor here. 5 miles west-northwest of Waimea, Hawaii. But guess what? This is actually northwest of Hualalai volcano here. Hualalai volcano is down here. So this earthquake to the north is northwest of Hualalai volcano. Okay? But again, they never want to show what's exactly going on. They don't want to label these as near a volcano. They keep avoiding the term volcano at all costs. Heaven forbid they ruin somebody's tourism. Yeah, tourism, guys. Down here on the eastern flank of Mauna Loa. Brand new earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. Look where it's at. Yes, it's on the western flank or the eastern flank of Mauna Loa. But it is just southeast of Kilauea. East-southeast of Kilauea volcano at Halemaumau crater. Yes, this is Halemaumau crater. Kilauea volcano in Halemaumau crater. Okay? Now, out here in Fern Forest, we have another 1.7 tremor here. 9 miles south-southeast of Fern Forest. Why do we have an earthquake here? Guys, if you remember, when Kilauea volcano drained out nearly 7 years ago, this summer will be 7 years. Both Kilauea and Pu'u'o volcanoes to the south drained out. All the lava at those volcanoes all drained out. Scientists wondered what happened. 2 or 3 days after the lava left those volcanoes, all of a sudden over here in Fern Forest and Leilani Estates, fissures opened up here in this area. Fissures that they never had any inkling that they would erupt. But fissures opened up here. 24 total fissures opened up here between Fern Forest and Leilani Estates. Now, we have another earthquake over here in Fern Forest. This is why that earthquake hit. There are magma channels here extending either from Pahala or from Kilauea, going down here into Fern Forest and also Leilani Estates. Yes, we still see earthquakes here in Leilani Estates as well. Right here. This is an old satellite picture of Leilani Estates. What you're seeing here are clouds. Yes, clouds. Vapor clouds. Okay? These are called lava plumes. These are called lava plumes. Lava plumes are carbon dioxide and also sulfur dioxide from the magma. CO2 and SO2 gas escape from the magma here. That's a common occurrence with magma. When these fissures erupted here, the lava plumes opened up. Sometimes as much as 7 miles into the sky, up to 7 miles into the upper atmosphere. But lava plumes nonetheless. Over a year later, these fissures closed down. They closed down. They stopped erupting. What was left? Cones and craters where the lava had been erupting. Cones and craters where the lava had been erupting. The Hawaiian people named a lot of those cones and craters as volcanoes. The Hawaiian people labeled those cones and craters volcanoes. They are now named volcanoes over here in Fern Forest and Leilani Estates. But lava still works its way over here through magma channels down beneath the surface of the Big Island. They continue happening. That's why I want to show you this. It's a common occurrence. It's very much a common occurrence. Now, I want to go back over here. Okay? I want to go back over here to the New Madrid Fault. There's a reason for it. There's very much a reason. Today, USBS has a tremor here. They have a labeled tremor here at Ridgely, Tennessee. We talked about Ridgely, Tennessee 2 days ago when we talked about the New Madrid Fault. This is another 1.6 tremor here. On the New Madrid Fault near Ridgely, Tennessee. Ridgely, Tennessee. Now, guys, this is on the New Madrid Fault. The central region of the New Madrid Fault. But they're not showing any other earthquakes here on the New Madrid. which is an out-and-out falsehood. It's an out-and-out falsehood. There are hundreds of earthquakes every day here on the New Madrid Fault, but they fail to talk about it. They fail to give any recognition about it. Let's go up here to the north. Now we are in northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky. Now, guys, why am I talking about this? This earthquake is on the eastern part, actually the western part of the Eastern Continental Divide. It's on the western part of the Eastern Continental Divide. This is a 2.2 earthquake here near Vanceburg, Kentucky. Near Vanceburg, Kentucky. The western side of the Eastern Continental Divide. Why is this important? We spent a great deal of time talking about earthquakes here on the Eastern Continental Divide the other day. Great deal of time. Because the mid-Atlantic fault here is expanding. The mid-Atlantic fault here is expanding. It's going like this. As the mid-Atlantic fault expands, the Pacific plate is getting less and less. That's because Greenland, Canada, the United States and northern Mexico, and also South America is being pushed in a south-southwesterly direction. It's pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States and northern Mexico, and South America in a south-southwesterly direction. That's why we're seeing earthquakes here on the east coast of North America. We've talked about it. We want everybody to know what's going on. But when the Atlantic plate is doing that, the North American continent is moving 1 inch or 3 centimeters a year to the south-southwest, putting pressure on the Eastern Continental Divide, causing earthquakes here on the East Coast. But that pressure is also putting pressure on what? The New Madrid Fault. The USGS doesn't want to take any responsibility for it. I got some new information about the New Madrid Fault, guys. I have more information about the New Madrid Fault. If you're interested in seismic activity in southern Missouri, 2 events also happened here 2 days ago. The USGS didn't show. Why am I talking about it now? We touched on it the other day when we talked about the New Madrid Fault. 2 separate New Madrid Fault earthquakes were felt 2 days ago. And still today we're having earthquakes. Neither of the earthquakes 2 days ago could be described as anything but minor. The Tennessee tremor was measured as a 2.3 minor earthquake. The other quake along the southern Missouri border was only a measly 1.8 tremor on the Richter. But the Tennessee quake was reportedly felt by someone who reported to the USGS. But remember this, only very sensitive people usually feel any minor earthquakes. Only very sensitive people feel any minor earthquakes, which means that this 2.3 felt 2 days ago, Wednesday, was actually a larger quake. A larger quake that USGS did not tell us about. And the 1.8 tremor on the southern Missouri border, wasn't even felt by a squirrel in a tree directly above the epicenter. Not even a squirrel in the tree above the epicenter felt this quake. Just a tiny tremor, 1.8 tremor. Now, the New Madrid seismic zone, known as the NMSZ, the New Madrid seismic zone, is known to produce a significant magnitude 7.0 to an 8.0 quake. It's known to produce a 7.0 to 8.0 earthquake. Okay? The last time this earthquake hit was 200 years ago. Actually, 212 years ago. 212 years ago. Because I was over in Little Rock, Arkansas in 2014 or 2011. In 2011, doing an earthquake drill about the New Madrid Fault on the anniversary of the New Madrid earthquake. That day, as I stated before in other broadcasts, we had 3 small earthquakes, 3.2 and 3.5 earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault that day. We had some of our drill crews in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had more of our crews in Missouri. We had crews in Memphis, Tennessee. I was over in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management that's called ADEM, ADEM, the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. Now, the USGS would have us believe that the New Madrid seismic zone only hits every 500 years, approximately every 500 years. As per their studies, the last major earthquake series occurred between December 1811, and January 1812, over 2 centuries ago. The USGS is telling everyone that there's only a 25 to 40% possibility of a similar 1811, 1812 quake event happening within the next 50 years. Really? Within the next 50 years? That's interesting. Now, I just looked over on my monitor here. Just less than a minute ago, we had 38 people watching this program. Now YouTube's telling us only 26 people are here. That's interesting. Just when I get in the nitty-gritty of the New Madrid quake, New Madrid seismic zone, people leave. They don't want to hear this. I've talked about this before. They don't want to know what's going on. But the problem with that is, if you don't come over here and find out what's going on, where are you going to get the information? Where are you going to get the information? Because the USGS is lying to us. The United States Geological Service is lying to us. Just a couple of days ago, I showed you seismograms, printouts from the computers, printouts from the seismographs, the computers, showing you earthquakes up and down the fault line. From Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, going up even into Illinois. Yeah. Small earthquakes going up in Illinois. 3.0, 3.5 small earthquakes occurring in Decatur, Illinois. And Carbondale, Illinois. But USGS didn't even show those on the map. So you know darn well that they don't even care. You know darn well the USGS doesn't even care. They say there's only a 25 to 40% possibility of a similar 1811, 1812 event happening in the next 50 years. But I've been on the air now nearly 7 years. April 3rd, just over a month from now, I will have been on the air 7 years. The 7 years I've been on the air, 6.5 plus years that I've been on the air. 6 years ago, all we can say and all I can show you were tremors on the New Madrid fault. Only tremors. 1.0, 1.2, 1.7, 1.9 tremors. That's it. Yes, they had some microquakes as well. But they had no minor earthquakes. No 2.0, 2.9. They had no 3.0, 3.9. They had no 4.0, 4.5. Yet, during the past 3 years, we've gone from tremors 1.0 to 1.9 to minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9, and even 3.0, 4.5 earthquakes, moderate earthquakes, in the past 3 years time period. That's a huge exponential increase. Given that increase, I can tell you that this seismic energy continues to increase as it is. We are going to see an 1811, 1812 level event within the next 2 years, maybe 3 at the most. I've shown you the events happening. I continue to show you this because we are trying to save lives. The last thing I want to do is give anybody any false hope that's going to happen. I'm not here to tell you lies either. I don't want to scare anybody. That's not my impetus. Today on Facebook, this is very interesting. A man on Watchman's Earth and Space Connection on Facebook quoted USGS from their government website. They said the government website provides key findings on the return period and risk of earthquakes in the New Madrid seismic zone, the NMSZ. Paleozoic seismic data indicates, historic Paleozoic seismic data indicates that the New Madrid seismic zone experiences large magnitude earthquakes with a recurrence level of approximately 500 years. A recurrence interval of 500 years. Interesting. USGS says those earthquakes range in magnitude from 7.0 to 8.0. But they're also saying that the last event had been recorded as a 7.1 earthquake. But they're also saying that that last event was actually an 8.0. So what I'm telling you now, they say anywhere from a 7.0 or 8.0, it's probably going to be an 8.0 plus earthquake on the New Madrid seismic zone. But again, the USGS wants us to know that the fault is not due for a specific time. Of course it isn't. But it can rupture at any moment. And USGS admits that the New Madrid seismic zone can rupture at any moment. While the last major rupture sequence occurred over 200 years ago, the New Madrid fault remains active and experiences smaller, continuous tremors and minor earthquakes and small earthquakes. Again, I've been watching this occur for the past almost 7 years. I've been watching earthquakes and tremors on the San Andreas, the New Madrid, and over in Alaska as well, and all over the world. We report on earthquakes around the world. What is happening on the New Madrid fault is that the tremors have gotten larger and larger and larger over the past 3 years. They're not just tremors anymore. Seismic energy has increased from tremors to small 3.0 to 3.9 and now up to 4.5 moderate earthquakes on the New Madrid seismic zone over the last 3 years. That is a huge increase. It's a huge increase. Again, at this rate, the New Madrid fault will have a major 8.0 earthquake within the next 2 to 3 years. If you look at what's presently going on and what's gone on in the recent past, you can ascertain exactly what's going to happen. The United States Geological Survey is not showing any of this activity. Yes, occasionally they'll show an earthquake at Ridgely, Tennessee, or a tremor over here in Missouri, or occasionally one in Arkansas. Just tremors, minor microquakes. That's all they're showing. They don't want anybody to know what's going on here. I would like to point out that there is a big difference between encouraging awareness and causing fake panic. I'm not here to cause fake panic. I never want to do that second thing at all. Never. But there is every reason to be concerned about the New Madrid fault. Not just because of the tiny quakes and tremors, but the increase in the actual seismic activity in the region. That's why I strive to continue to spread awareness that Missouri and the Midwest in general is one of the most seismically active regions in America. A major quake that will not give you any warning that it's about to strike. At some point in the future, the very earth beneath our feet will betray us and change our lives forever. If any of you live near the New Madrid fault, I know you do. Many of you live here on the New Madrid fault. You told me that. You told me where you live. I've gotten chat messages on Facebook Messenger. I get chat messages here on our chat. I get emails asking me, Ron, what's going on with the New Madrid fault? And I never have any problem telling you, because I want you all to know. I want you all to know it's very important. If you live near the New Madrid Fault, you need to have some kind of emergency plan with your family. You need to know what you would do when a major quake event happens. What you would do when the bridges suddenly close down or fall. When the bridges close down or fall or even open up. Yeah, even open up. This is going to happen. I promise you, this will happen. Bridges will open up. Bridges will fall down. We've talked about this before. What would you do if one of these bridges suddenly closed down or fell? Or become damaged or in need of inspection? And they close down the roadway. Do you have any non-perishable food and water available to your family? If not, you better get it. You better get it because it's going to happen. We talk a lot about emergencies and disasters on the fault zone, but not just that. We talk about emergencies and disasters around the world. Heavy rain, flooding. We talk about tornadoes. We talk about hurricanes every day. Not necessarily hurricanes because it's not hurricane season, but we've had tornadoes literally every day we've been on the air. We talked about rain and flooding. We've talked about snow and blizzards. Highways closing down, such as Interstate 80 coming out of San Francisco, headed to Utah. Interstate 80 closed through the northern Sierra Mountains. Blizzard and snow conditions, up to 8 to 9 feet of snow in northern Sierras. During the past 3 days, northern Utah has accumulated feet of snow, just not inches, but feet of snow and freezing conditions. Do you have non-perishable food available and water for your family? What happens when stores are not going to be able to open? What happens when stores are not going to be able to open? Especially here on the New Madrid Fault region. This entire region will be heavily devastated by the damage from this quake. Heavily devastated. You think roadways and bridges going down is going to not be anything? How do homes and businesses get beat up and damaged or destroyed completely? What happens there? Buildings and homes will be leveled. Buildings and homes will be leveled. From Mississippi and Louisiana, Jonesboro, Arkansas, up into Illinois, Carbondale, Illinois. We've shown you earthquakes in Illinois. We've shown you earthquakes in Indiana. During the past 3 weeks, actually closer to 4 weeks now, we've had 2.5, 2.9, 3.0, and 3.5 earthquakes up in Carbondale and Decatur, Illinois. Carbon and Decatur, Illinois. It's gone from minor earthquakes to 3.5 small earthquakes in Illinois. And in some cases, hours upon hours of quake shaking. 3 to 5 hours of quake shaking. It's one thing to have minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. Most of that cannot be felt. But 3.0, 3.9 can be felt. These homes and buildings are going to be destroyed. Any stores with anything of value will also be destroyed. What happens when that happens? What happens when that happens, guys? Looting. Looting's going to happen. Looting's going to happen. Anything of value is going to be totally destroyed or looted. Any stores with anything of value will be destroyed or looted, as we've seen happen during any kind of major disaster, or what's happening with the defund the police movement in Minneapolis, California, Washington, Oregon. Yeah. These thieves, these looters, go in and take anything they want, leaving nothing left. If the product itself isn't destroyed, anything of value is going to be gone. People will take anything of value to help themselves, not even thinking about anybody else. Let these quakes that we've shown you be a reminder that everyone must be ready. Now I want to tell you about things you can expect when the New Madrid fault unleashes a big one. What happens when the New Madrid fault unleashes a big one? Again, the New Madrid fault unleashed a big one back in 1811, 1812. Now they're saying it was much more than a 7.0. They're saying it was at least an 8.0 earthquake. But that initial quake in December 1811 was followed by a series of 7+ earthquakes, aftershocks. Aftershocks. You can expect any major earthquake that strikes the New Madrid fault or anywhere else to be followed by a series of strong aftershocks. The historic 1811 earthquake happened when southern Missouri was a frontier area. It happened when southern Missouri was a frontier area. Darn it. I had a picture I want to show you, but it's gone. The frontier area. In the recent past, USGS said nobody was killed. They have no evidence of anyone being killed. What happened when the 1811 earthquake hit? It caused the Mississippi River to flow backwards for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. What happened then? When that happened, guys, when that happened, Mississippi River flowing backwards, the river expanded its boundaries. The river overflowed its boundaries into what they call Real Foot Lake today. Real Foot Lake is a huge lake over there in Tennessee. Huge lake. Huge, huge lake. I bypassed that lake. I saw the lake myself on the way from Utah here, where I live now. Huge lake. The people who live here on the frontier had no chance of even avoiding the water. All of a sudden the earthquake hit. There was all kinds of shaking. People were surprised. People were stunned. They had no idea what was going on, what was happening. All of a sudden the water infilled the canyon, the villages, the creeks, expanded into the area where Reelfoot Lake sits today. There may be cabins down underneath the water of Reelfoot Lake today. Nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows. People were buried in the water here, now buried under sediment in the Reelfoot Lake. They're saying only one person was killed as a result of the New Madrid Fault earthquake. A modern day New Madrid earthquake is very likely to cause thousands of people to be unalived. In the St. Louis, the Little Rock, Memphis, and other major cities up and down the fault line. Thousands of people unalived. When the New Madrid Fault does let loose, a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake is going to hit. As I said a few minutes ago, roads are going to become impassable. Fissures and faults opening up. Highways being decimated. Bridges going down. Bridges and highways going down. Bridges and roadways in the region will be unusable for days, if not weeks or months, while authorities would need to check for damage to even open up an even small area of the roadway. One of the most troubling things for planners to consider would be which roads and highways would remain safe for travel after the large megaquake would happen on the New Madrid Fault. We told you the other day when we talked about the fault going, when we talked about the earthquake happening, gas lines, natural gas and petroleum gas lines would break, causing fires up and down the fault line. From Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, south into Louisiana and Mississippi, up and down the entire fault, causing fires. The only way to put out those fires is by air. Helicopter and planes dropping water or non-combustible foam on the fires. Water mains will be disrupted. The people living here on the New Madrid Fault will have no way for clean water because of the death and destruction that's going to happen. Diseases will crop up and will be prevalent throughout society. If it's unclear, I should say it is clear, it would be impossible for those people living near the epicenter of the quake to be able to seek shelter to the north, south, or west of the Mississippi. As you can expect, travel over the Mississippi River, east and south and west, to be impossible for at least a short term. And those highways, roadways, and bridges would crumble. It would be months or maybe even years before the repairs will be complete. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources now estimates that the damage of a major New Madrid quake was going to be at least $296 billion. Yes, 296 billion with a B, dollars. The area of damage from a major New Madrid quake would be so vast. Emergency services could be stretched to the limits for months. Emergency service, police, fire, and medical would be stretched limited for months. Not even be able to refresh their supplies that they had. With many major transportation hubs damaged, search and rescue will be a challenge, if not worse, even in the best circumstances. It's a considerable earthquake estimate that tens of thousands of people will become homeless for an extended period of time in the event when this magnitude 7+ earthquake occurs. People become homeless, just like we're seeing in Minneapolis, just like we're seeing in Washington, just like we're seeing in Oregon and California. Homeless. We think we got a problem with homelessness now in New York, Chicago, and other places. Just wait till this earthquake hits. Maybe hundreds of thousands of people will become homeless. Now, while I and maybe you also would like to believe that our neighbors would be able to rally together and recover from such a major manifold earthquake, it would be naive to think that crime would not be as prevalent as it is today. The criminal elements of our society will increase a stranglehold on the population of the New Madrid region to take advantage of the fact that first responders will be preoccupied with the search and rescue victims of this horrific event. Yeah. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. It's literally when. We don't know when, but we know it's going to happen. It's not if, it's when. Let's talk about sinkholes. Sinkholes, guys. Think about this. What's going to happen now? Well, after that earthquake hits, sinkholes are going to hit. We know it. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources estimates that there are going to be more than 16,000 sinkholes in Missouri. That's Missouri alone. We're not even saying anything about Oklahoma, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, or Louisiana. 16,000 sinkholes in Mississippi or Missouri alone. With the porous rock in southern Missouri, you can expect even more sinkholes to appear after a violent shaking event. And while we're talking about that, let's also include the fact that shaking areas of sand and loamy soil, such as quicksand, will develop after the earthquake hits. It's called liquefaction. Liquefaction, guys. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem. Let's talk about liquefaction next. Okay, I want you to see this. This is important. This is real world. This is real world, guys. No joke.
Things breaking, like rocks, roads, and buildings. And this is true, but in some circumstances, something really strange can happen. The earth below our feet can become wobbly and liquefy. My name is Joe, and welcome to Geoscience Australia's Education Centre located on Ngunnawal and Ngambri land. Today we're going to do an easy demonstration of liquefaction in action. Here I've created a landscape and we have a building sitting on the surface. And I wonder, what do you think will happen when we simulate an earthquake? Let's take a look. During the shaking, all the little bits of sand start to jiggle around. And this creates space for water to move up past the grains and towards the surface. And we call this process liquefaction because the ground is behaving a little bit like a liquid. Heavy objects typically sink while those light objects, like the pipe, become more buoyant, which means they can rise to the surface. And when the shaking stops, all those grains stop jiggling and they lock back into place and the ground becomes solid once again.
Okay, that's what happens. I used to have what they called a shake table. When I was in Salt Lake City, I did emergency preparedness fairs. I took that shake table out to the fairs. I had buildings. I had homes. I had stop signs. I had cars. I had people and bicycles on the surface of the ground. When the shaking started, all of a sudden the water table rose. Like this situation portrays, the building falls down. Buildings and homes sink. Cars, stop sign, power poles sink or fall down. This is what we call liquefaction. This is a real situation. This is the real situation. With the porous rock all around, up and down the fault. Liquefaction. Shaking areas of sand and loamy soil, called quicksand or liquefaction. During an earthquake, ground shaking causes the water-saturated soil to compress. Because the water cannot escape quickly, it bears the load of the soil, causing the sand and loamy soil particles to lose contact and float, turning the ground into a liquid-like mixture. It typically occurs in areas with high groundwater levels, loose and sandy and loamy silty soils, such as riverbanks, lake shores, and coastal areas. Earthquake-induced liquefaction occurs when intense seismic shaking causes water-saturated, loose, sandy soil to temporarily lose strength and behave like a viscous liquid or quicksand. This phenomenon increases pore water pressure, forcing soil particles apart, allowing heavy structures such as buildings, cars, homes, power poles, bicycles, even people to sink into the soil or tilt. Water and sand can erupt to the surface, creating what they call sand boils or sand blows. Sand blows. Okay? Sand volcanoes or sand blows or sand boils. Ground can move horizontally towards open bodies of water. Ground can move horizontally towards open bodies of water, tearing apart infrastructure. Tearing apart infrastructure, both the buildings and pipelines beneath it. When the earthquake shaking stops, the water pressure dissipates, the sand settles back into a solid state, often trapping submerged objects. This is what happened back at Port Royal, Jamaica in 1692. The city of Port Royal, Jamaica sank partially into the sea during the earthquake there due to liquefaction. It's probably going to happen again here on the New Madrid Fault. That's why I want to show you this. This is real. This is very real. The terror of the 7.7 to 8.0 plus earthquake in Missouri, central Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, all the way north to Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, all the way down south to Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana. All these areas I just spoke about are going to feel the effects of the first jolt and liquefaction as well. They're going to feel the real-time effects of the devastating major 8.0 plus New Madrid earthquake centered in New Madrid, Missouri. As the shaking expands, buildings are going to tumble in Jonesboro, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Carbondale, Illinois, Clarksville, Tennessee, as we see both devastated buildings and homes crumble. The metro area of St. Louis is next. When the New Madrid earthquake hits, it's going to bring down every building that isn't earthquake proof. It will bring down every building that's not earthquake proof. $1 billion of damage. $1 billion of damage. As the earth continues to shake, even after the epicenter first hits, after the first earthquake hits, there's going to be corresponding aftershocks as well. Springfield, Illinois, Louisville, Kentucky are going to impact the next. Kansas City, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky don't have as many buildings affected, but everyone is going to feel the shaking. Even Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Chicago, Illinois will feel effects of the devastating quake, which is going to result in $300 billion in damage, leaving at least 2.6 million households without power. 2.6 million households without power. Thousands of people may lose their lives instantly. Thousands of people will lose their lives instantly. Think about that, guys. Homes destroyed, businesses destroyed. Thousands of people being unalived. This is real world expectation. We know it's going to happen. Do you have any questions of me about this presentation? Any questions of me about this presentation? Jose Estrada, I wish you'd talk about what we're talking about here. Talking about everything in the past days you've been here on this chat. You talk about everything but what we're talking about. Please limit your conversations to what we're talking about here. We'd appreciate it. Lena's here. Lena, it's good to see you again. Thank you for being here. Now, Jose, I understand California's going to have a major earthquake. Yes, they are. The same thing that's going to happen here on New Madrid Falls is also going to happen in California. Exact same thing. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. We all need to prepare. We all need to prepare for what's going to happen, guys. I promise you it's going to happen. Why am I talking about it? The simple reason is this. I want everybody to be prepared. This earthquake that we just got through talking about is going to happen. We don't have a day or time, but we know it's going to happen. Are you guys prepared? Like I said before, we talked about every kind of disaster that's going to happen, every kind of emergency, and they're happening right now as we speak. Ten people in northern Sierra Mountains lost family members as a result of an avalanche in Northern California. 6 other people were killed in the northern Utah mountains as a result of avalanche. Like I said, not just inches, but feet of snow. Feet of snow. Dozens of car accidents as well. People lost their life in weather-related accidents. Guys, we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared now. Like I said, do you have an emergency kit? Do you have food, water? Food and water are absolutely necessary. You can't get by without food and water. Just can't do it. Do you have clothing? Right now we're still in the winter season. Temperatures below zero in some cases around this world. Below freezing all around this world. Is anybody ready? If all of a sudden the power is to go out, a major earthquake is going to happen, destroy your level of living there where you live. Are you ready? Tracy and Stephen Sandlin's here. Says they live in Harrisburg, Arkansas. I've been there. Most of their town is built on the ridge, Crawley's Ridge there. I've been there, guys. I know exactly where you guys live. I've been in Harrisburg before. Unreal. This whole area where you live is going to be devastated. It's when. We don't know when. But I can tell you this. We've been showing you earthquakes all throughout the last 7 years. During the past 3, we've shown you an increase in not just the number, the seismicity, but also the magnitude of earthquakes have been occurring. The magnitudes have also been increasing exponentially. That exponential increase continues. This 8+ earthquake that we're going to see on the New Madrid fault is just years away. Maybe not even that, maybe months. Yes, it can happen anytime. Wolf Moon Media saying damage only in Missouri? No. As I said in just a few minutes ago, all the way up into Illinois, Chicago, Carbondale, Illinois. I've talked to you about Evansville, Indiana. I've talked about Ohio. All up and down the New Madrid Fault. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma also. Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. It's going to happen, guys. Up and down the entire fault line from the Gulf of America, north, even I would think just north of Chicago. Just north of Chicago. I've shown you evidence of it. I've shown you this week of evidence of parts of Oklahoma shaking. 2.5 to 3.5 earthquake shaking in Illinois this week. This week. Damage from the north all the way down south. Guys, we've had 2 earthquake disaster drills along the New Madrid Fault in the past 5 years. 2. The first one was in 2011. The next 2 after that. One more recent, I believe, was in 2018. I do not believe that everybody there is even ready to experience that earthquake. I don't believe first responders, the police, the fire department, paramedics are ready. I don't think the people are even ready. I don't think the people are even thinking about it, except for maybe the people we employed to act as victims during our drills. We paid upwards of $10 or $11 an hour for those victims' time. We spent triaging them and transporting them to medical centers for treatment. Yeah. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen, I promise you that. But again, the big question is, are you prepared? Preparedness kits, first aid kits, medicine. Make sure you have documentation of your medical conditions, your medicines that you're taking, making sure you have your car insurance, your rental agreements, and also your occupancy agreements for your home, documents that you own your home. Make sure you have all your insurance documents, home and rental insurance, car insurance, health insurance documents as well. Make sure you have all that. Along with your emergency kit, in your emergency kit, you need to have a stash of cash. Have a stash of cash readily available because the ATMs and banks aren't going to be working. The store cash registers aren't going to be working. You won't be able to use credit cards or ATM cards at all. You're going to need to have cash. This is not if but when. It's not if but when. As I said, the reason I'm talking about New Madrid again is because I got new information today. I want you to be ready. This earthquake could also occur anywhere in Europe, where our buddy Demon Catman lives in the east part of England. They rarely see even a minor tremor, minor earthquake, but it's possible that they could. I've been warning about that as well. We keep seeing tremors, minor earthquakes, and small earthquakes all over France, Switzerland, Germany, and Austria, over in Italy, Croatia, even over in Romania, and also Ukraine. Earthquakes, Poland even. Poland's had some small and minor earthquakes recently. Greece all the time. Turkey's devastated by earthquakes every day. From tremors to minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.9, 3.0 to 4.9, 5.0 to 6.0, 6.5, 7.0 earthquakes in Turkey. Turkey, guys. Literally all over Europe, South and Central America, Australia, New Zealand, the South Pacific islands of Tonga and Fiji, the Legacy Islands, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Southeast Asia. The earthquakes happen all over the globe. We get hurricanes. We get cyclones. Are you ready, guys? Demon Catman says plenty of small earthquakes in South England today, lately. I believe that, Dean. Totally believe that. Are you ready? Are you ready? That's all I preach is readiness. That's all I preach is readiness. I tell you about what's going to happen, then I'm asking you to be ready for it. Prepare your families, guys. Prepare your families. We want to save lives here. That's why we talk about this. We want to save lives. Isaiah talks about it, not in the Bible, in the Old Testament. Matthew talks about it. All the prophets and apostles throughout history talked about our time, based in our time. Are you ready, guys? Are you truly ready for what's going to happen? I hope and pray you are. Our day is coming. Our day is coming. As we get closer and closer to the second coming of Jesus Christ, which I believe could happen any day, we're going to see the cities, towns, and countries we live in destroyed because of wickedness abounds. Are you ready for what's going to happen? Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 5. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way to the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way to the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, the image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here? That I should go forth from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, thou shalt see greater abominations. We're seeing that all around our lands. Things are going to get much worse when the Son of Man comes. We need to be prepared. We need to be prepared now. That's what Emergency Management Associates is. We are a disaster. We are an emergency preparedness channel. That's why we talk about the things we talk about. Guys, please, if you can find in your hearts and budgets, down in the bottom part of your screen here, you see our 2 PayPal locations scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You donate to our PayPal addresses. Please donate to our PayPal addresses. So far, we have not gotten any super chats at all today during the program. You can donate to our PayPal locations, guys. You can also donate to our postal address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Also, after this program is over, you can go down below this video that you're seeing today. After we get off the program, you're going to see areas where you can comment. You can leave your comments to this program. We'd appreciate that as well. Also, you can send us comments and questions on what you want to see here on our program to our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. Send us comments, send us questions and ideas what you want to see on our program, and we'll do those things on our program in the near future. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Now, if anything happens tonight or in the morning or anytime during this weekend, we will come back on the air and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. On the weekends, we take the days off. I used to be on the air 7 days a week. I don't do that anymore. Found I can't do it. My family deserves me. So I take 2 days for me, except for Sunday. Sunday at 12:30 noon. We come back on the air for our Sunday school class we call Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. 12:30 noon, Sunday afternoon. We'd encourage you all to come back for that as well. Guys, I love you. I truly do. I wouldn't be here without you. I couldn't do it without you either. I love you. I love you and your families. I ask the Lord's richest blessings upon your heads. and all the Emergency Management Associate family members, whether you're here right now or you've been here in the past. We love you. We care about you. Folks, I'm asking you for prayers for people that aren't here with us today. Linda Covington, Don Patoka. Earlier I saw a sleeping volcano, as she's known as Sharon. Appreciate her too. We appreciate our buddy Rob in Arizona. We appreciate Renee Sefi. We appreciate Hurricane Heather and David Catman. All of our mods here as well. Guys, pray for our family members. Pray for our moderators. They need us. We love you. We love you very much. Yes, you can send your suggestions. You can send pictures or complaints to our email address. Please do it. We'd love to hear from you. Now, in closing, may God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, guys. Either tomorrow or any day this week if anything major happens. Otherwise, we'll see you Sunday afternoon at 12:30 for a Sunday school class. Come follow me, the Savior said. Have a good night, guys. We love you very much. Take care of each other. Love each other. Tell everyone around you that you love them. We love each other, guys. We love you very much. See you soon. God bless. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We love you. Have a good